Nebraska is the reigning 20-time off-season national champions. Today, unsportsmanlike conduct recognizes excellence in spring practice with the hype monster of the day.
You might be saying, wait, spring practice is over.
John, it's been over for a week and a half.
But guess what? This dude never sleeps. He never sleeps. Today, I present to you more graphical evidence of hype. This is from College Football Numbers with the win totals provided by DraftKings Sportsbook. But it is a comparison of the projected win totals and the strength of schedule. Now, this is just among the Power 5 schools.
Okay.
So if you are looking at the chart across the bottom or the x-axis, left to right, that's your preseason win totals.
Okay, so that's easy to
On the
understand.
y-axis or the vertical axis, up and down the left side, is the average opponent wins from last year.
Okay.
So you're looking at basically your schedule based on last year's wins.
Wait, real quick, are you
and your
sure
win total. Yeah.
it's not the win total for the opponents too on the y-axis? Because it says average opponent win total. Meanwhile, the bottom is the preseason.
Oh, yeah,
win
you're
total.
right. Yeah, that's okay. Sorry. Either way.
So this is more of an actual projection on both ends. It's your projection
Yes,
and the projection
and
of
the opponent's projection.
Uh-huh.
So the further to the lower right you are, is the higher your win total and the weaker
easier,
or easier the schedule.
So, like, for example, Kansas State, their win total, their preseason win total is 9.
Mm-hmm.
The average win total of the teams in which they will play is under 6.
Under 6. So they have a very easy schedule. In fact,
let's go K-State.
You got some teams in that bottom right quadrant that include Texas, LSU,
of course, the GOAT,
Notre Dame,
Notre Lame, more like it, John,
and yes, Kansas State, as well as Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm. Ole Miss. People like Ole Miss.
The
a lot
teams to the upper left,
oh boy,
who have low win totals and high opponent win totals include Vanderbilt,
oh boy,
Stanford,
oh boy,
Florida.
Yeah, John, I have an early prediction, and that is going to be that they'll be firing their coach this year.
So you're saying, wait a minute, what does this have to do with the Husker hype monster?
Wait a minute, what does this have to do with the Husker hype monster?
Nebraska has a projected win total of 7. But their opponent's projected win total is only 6.5 on average, which puts them not quite in the lower right quadrant, but they're definitely below the average line in terms of schedule strength.
Correct.
So it's theoretically an easier schedule with a win total that's not quite as high. And you might say, well, that's good, right?
I would say it is.
That's very good.
There you go. Yeah,
that's very good. The of the national title contenders, Georgia, right now their win total is around 10, and their strength of schedule is around 7.5. Alabama, their win total is around 9, and their strength of schedule is around 7.5. Ohio State is got the highest win total.
Yeah, so around 11.
It's almost 11, and their strength of schedule is right in the middle at an average of 7 wins.
I mean, that's certainly not nothing. How about the Oklahoma Sooners? Have you seen this?
Yeah, Oklahoma's win total is 8, but so too is their opponent's average win total,
dude,
which is among one of the highest in the country. The toughest schedules based on projected win totals go Florida, Georgia Tech, Arkansas, Oregon State,
dude, that's
and then
wild.
it's pretty much a toss-up between Vandy, South Carolina, Oklahoma. This is only Power 5 schools. Correct. So we're not looking at Group of 5, but this is only among the Power 5 schools.
It's pretty crazy that Oregon State is that high. But I guess, so real quick, the projected win total of your opponents, is that also only taking into account then Power 5 schools? So, like, Oregon State. They have games, Power 5 games this year versus Oregon, Purdue, Cal's a Power 5 school,
Yeah,
right? They're an ACC.
The graphic says Power 5 only. So, yeah, it's a smaller
and
sample
Washington
size.
State. Okay, so they would only have 4 games.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say,
It's a smaller
wow,
sample
their
size.
schedule is brutal. But if you're only dividing it by 4 teams, then it's, it's a little different. By the way, Power 4. We got to do better at this. It's the Power 4. It is not the Power 5 anymore.
I guess.
We have to, John. We can't count in conference. It doesn't count. It's gone. It's dead.
I guess. So there you have it. So Nebraska's in it among the weaker schedules in the country include Virginia Tech, Kansas, Kansas State, Utah, North Carolina, SMU, Missouri. But Nebraska's definitely in the looks like top 20.
You're in the area that you want to be in if you have a win total, in which they do. I mean, sure, you'd rather be further to the right. You'd love to be in the Utah, Kansas State, Missouri realm. That'd be lovely. But I think that you are in a solid spot. Given the win total that they have, I think that that's a solid spot to be in.
And just judging here, it looks like I don't see any other Big Ten schools that are lower than Nebraska.
Yeah, I was right above them.
Penn State's very close. Iowa's very close.
Penn State's very close.
But it does not look like, in terms of ease of schedule, that anybody in the Big Ten is lower than Nebraska.
I believe that you are right. Yeah, it's interesting. They're with a lot of Big 12 schools. There is right next to them. Thank you for zooming, John. I appreciate that. Texas Tech is right there. UCF is right there. Arizona, remember, they're a Big 12 school now. Kansas, not too far away from them.
Yeah.
Iowa State is near there. Cincinnati, a little bit to their left, as well as Baylor. So they're by a lot of Big 12 schools. Meanwhile, if you look up in where Iowa is, there's a lot of Big 10 schools in that neighborhood. UCLA is in that neighborhood. Minnesota. Purdue is in that neighborhood. Northwestern is in that neighborhood. Illinois, Michigan State. What does that tell me? It tells me that those teams have similar schedules. That's what it would tell me. And then Nebraska does not. That Nebraska, knowing who they have, they avoid. Who do they avoid this year? They avoid Michigan. They avoid Penn State this year. They avoid Oregon this year. So they have outside. They have Ohio State, and then they have they get to skip the next few toughest Big Ten teams, and then it's kind of like this group of unknowns: Wisconsin, USC, etc. is who they have on the sketch. By the way, cleaning up something from last segment, Moses lived to just over 100 years old, not 900. I was thinking of Noah, as I said, going to break.
Whoever was your Sunday school teacher is very ashamed.
No, that was so long ago. John, that was 30 years ago.
Do you know what 2 + 2 is?
4.
You learned that a long time ago. You didn't forget that.
I don't know how old JFK was when he got assassinated.
Well, we don't ask that question.
Do we ask the question, how old was Moses when he died?
We did. We just did.
All right, how old was Noah?
We just said it was 120.
No, that was Moses.
Oh, Noah?
Yeah. You want to guess?
I don't know.
950.
See, I find that hard to believe.
Wow. You find the Bible hard to believe, and you say I'm the one who's spreading blasphemy.
I find it hard to believe that he lived to 950 when Yoda only made it to 860.
We say that someone is old when they reach John's age, right? Imagine living another 900 years. That's ancient. What kind of opinions does a 900-year-old have? They have to be triggered by NIL. Can you imagine someone
Back in the medieval
who right
days.
now would be 900 years old, the takes that they would have? You can't say that. It's not 1,234 anymore.
Speaking of old, Steve Sipple is still to come.
Nice.